Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Dash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS. Rules well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Ariana. The title of this video is Influenza A, subclade K, superbug going on. We see the H3N2 in the parentheses. And basically, we have a new, flu virus that's going around, right? This should be your modern day flu, but it's doing much more than expected. And basically, we're inching towards the end and things are increased, right? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh said he will bring plagues upon earth, right? And as we get closer in these last days, these plagues are becoming harder to combat, basically. This is supposed to be a regular flu, but this thing has mutated to the point where it's a risk factor, for, these doctors and whatnot. So things are only intensifying here in these last days. Is Jeremiah 28:8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. Right. And the Lord Yahweh Bashim said he will bring pestilence. Right. He said he will, visit this place and bring these different pestilence. Let me grab this second Edges 9 real quick. It says, second Ezra 9, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it's the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes upward of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, the end is manifest. Even so, the times also the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And what we're witnessing here is the endings of the effects and signs. They're saying things like, oh, these case numbers have never been reported, and that's with everything, the earthquake, the magnitude, the upward of the people, everything that's happened now in these last days. Every time I speak about it, I say, well, nothing has been taking place on this magnitude, for a while now. And pretty much we're just at the end, right? Matthew 24:3, it says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples, right, came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming in the end of the world? And Yahweh shall answer and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many with false prophets. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but it is not yet. We're seeing Venezuela, we're seeing Iran, we're seeing Ukraine, we're seeing Taiwan, right? The big war is going to be America, Russia, and Iran, China, and all of that. But we're seeing these wars, rumors of wars taking place. It says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, and we've seen this already. We have the 2020 event, right? We have the thing being committed over there in the Gaza Strip, but these things are happening all around the world, right? Different economies are failing, different things are happening with upward of the people, right? They can't afford, groceries and things like that. Yeah, reports about this in China, Russia, Iran, pretty soon Venezuela. Ukraine could be struggling, all these different places, of course, UK, all these different places that are going through, hard times right now. And the people are waking up. You got the earthquake. It was of magnitude 6.5 or 6.3 or something just struck over California. They started talking about, the new fault lines that these earthquakes could cause, basically ripping apart California, right? Making it an island. So these are just different things that has been talked about here in these last days, right? On a grander scale. Okay. So let's grab this one right here.
New York State shows close to 190,000 cases. The aggressive new flu strain, being called the super flu, that's never a good sign, has hit New York with a surge in new cases. The latest data from New York State shows close to 190,000 cases this season, with health officials logging 71,000 new cases, the highest number ever recorded in a single week. Now, this season, the Centers for Disease Control estimates that more than 4.6 million Americans have had the flu, with over 49,000 hospitalizations and 1,900 deaths. It is worth mentioning that according to the CDC, there has been a decline in the number of Americans getting the flu shot, down 3 million from last season. The aggressive new flu strain being called the...
Right. So the Lord said he would visit this place, right, with pestilence. And as she just said, it has an increased number of reported cases in 1 week alone. And it's only intensifying. You've seen 1,900 deaths reported already. That's intensifying. And this is just the beginning stages of it, the beginning stages of it. Right, the beginning starting of it, so this thing could definitely intensify to something deadly, right, which is already killing people. Okay, this is 2nd Ezra 16:17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And ultimately, I got Psalm 91 pulled up because we're going to trust in Yahweh Bashim Shah. Right? We're seeking the Lord while he may be found, that we may be put under his wing, right? Under that hedge of protection. But ultimately, we're warning against these things. Now is the time to, seek the Lord and get under that protection, because, all these things are about to hit the earth, right? 2nd Ezra 16:19 says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. All right? She goes that way. All right. Yeah, so like I was saying, reading over here in 2nd Ezra 16, right? And I went to 19 regarding that plague, just plague consists of the many things that's happening here on planet Earth, and pestilence, can consist within that. Right? Let me get it again. 2nd Ezra 16:14, it says, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till they consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot from of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent on earth shall not return again. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Right? And like I was saying, we're at the point now where everything that's happening is happening at an increased level. Right? The Most High Yahweh Bashmal Shah is about to do, a magnificent work, basically, with everything turned up in these last days. Said the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, it's the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars. All these are happening now. It says, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, they'll be always mindful of the scourges, right? And that's 2/3. Right, 2/3 in the wicked, right? But the elect, we see exactly what time it is, right? Let me grab this video here.
Dive into a new flu strain that health experts warn could make for a nasty flu season. The new strain is called subclade K, and it's already spread overseas. Japan, they've already declared an influenza epidemic, and the UK flu season started a month earlier than usual. ABC News medical contributor Dr. Alok Patel joins us now with what we need to know about this. Dr. Patel, thank you for joining us again. How is this strain different from other flu strains, and why are health experts worried about it?
Important questions, Ike. So basically, when you think about what a subclade actually is, that word literally means below branch, and it's in the family tree of influenza viruses. So when people hear these letters and these numbers like H3N2, that is influenza A. When there's mutations on those surface proteins, the proteins on the outside of the virus, that's when we get to subclade. So subclade K has mutations on those proteins. People are paying attention because we're seeing cases earlier and we're seeing more cases in places, as you mentioned, across the world With subclade K now being identified in Japan, Canada, and the UK, it's still unclear about what this might actually do to the US, but this is definitely why the global surveillance influenza system, yes, that exists, is on high alert.
Now, are there current flu vaccines effective against this new strain?
So the flu vaccine was actually created in a different subclade later in spring. And researchers are concerned that there may have been some mutations on the proteins that could make this flu vaccine less effective. However, early data does suggest there is some effectiveness. And an important thing that I want everyone to understand is the flu vaccine isn't perfect. No vaccine is. The percentage of effectiveness varies from season to season, but there is some good preliminary data.
Hey, the scriptures say that the Most High Yahweh Bashman Shai is going to confound their counsel, right? The Most High Yahweh Bashman Shai don't want many individuals to be delivered in these last days, right? These diseases and whatnot. The Most High allows these things to be sent forth, and He wants it to perform His work, right? Second Esdras 8:50 it says, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great profit." Right, a great death, right, and a great slaughter is about to happen in these last days for many different reasons, and these pestilences are going to be one of those. Now, these devils won't be able to make the same type of shots that you got as a kid, because these viruses are a real thing, and they do have things to protect you from that, which really and truly the plants, right, in the earth is what was supposed to, be used to heal yourself. But Esau Edom put these viruses out. So that's another thing too, knowing, what herbs to, use and with your daily diet to protect you from these things. And ultimately, Yahweh Bashman Rashad. But Esau has these, vaccines, and if they were doing it, the correct way, they will make it, plant-based, and they will have the remedies and things like that. But they come out with these different shots, and they throw a little poison in there also. But anyway, whatever type of things that they use and how they found out to get the flu shot, the vaccine and things like that to help you, it ain't gonna work anymore, right? Isaiah 19:3 says, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards." So the Most High Yahweh Bashman Shai is going to confuse the counsel, right, of these devils. The scriptures say, I believe it's in Job 18, that they're going to err in every work. Let me see. Oh, it's right here. Down here. This is Isaiah 19:14. It says, "The Lord Yahweh Bashman Shai have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work." Egypt's talking about America, right? It says, "And they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggered in his vomit." Right, neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or tail or branch or rush may do. All right. So, all hell is going to break loose. Let me grab this in NLT, regarding them trying to figure out how to save themselves from these different pestilence, right? Because, of course, if the Most High Yahweh Bashman Shai sends a pestilence, Esau going to want some protection from that, some way to heal himself. But the Most High, won't allow that in these last days. Ultimately, these elite bankers are going to scurry and run to their bunkers, and be protected for slavery. But nonetheless, the Most High Yahweh Bashman Shai is going to do a work with these pestilence. Right? Isaiah 19:14, it said, "The Lord Yahweh Bashman Shai have mixed a spirit of distortion within her. Her leaders have caused Egypt to stagger in all that she does, as a drunken man staggered in his vomit. There will be no work for Egypt which head or tail, high palm branch, or low bulrush may do." Yeah, so pretty much it's done for this place. This is what it's going to. All right, and I wanted to grab this, or we can finish listening to this a little bit more.
Out of the UK, and researchers believe that this flu vaccine this season has still a probability of protecting you and keeping you away from winding up in the hospital or getting severe disease. So it's still a really good idea to get that shot if you haven't already.
All right, now along with that flu shot, what else can people do to protect themselves?
Yeah, you mentioned getting the flu shot, but also Big surprise. Please stay home if you are sick. You don't necessarily know what those symptoms really are. This is especially important if you're high risk, if you're going to see someone who's high risk, because anyone who might just have a common cold might not think it's a big deal, but it could be devastating in somebody else.
All right, Dr. Alok Patel, thank you for that.
Yeah, so and ultimately we know that we're gonna trust in Yahweh Bashmi Shai, right? Psalms 91:1, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. What's the secret place? Right, this word, right, these scriptures, right, rehearsing righteous acts. Not just hearers of the word, but doers also, right? It says, I will say of the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shai, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver me from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. See, so surely he will deliver us from the noisome pestilence. So trusting in him, leaning on him, seeking him while he may be found, right? Seeking him early, right? All of these things before these last days hit is key basically, so we can be delivered from these different things, right? It says, he shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. The scriptures say, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. All right, so we're gonna put on the whole armor of Yahweh Bashmi Shai. All right, was that is it Ephesians 6:10, right? Make sure. Please, Ephesians 6. Put on the whole armor. See the armor of Yahweh Bashmi Shai. Ultimately, that's the word, right? Getting into the word. It says Psalm 91:4, he shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor the arrow that flies by day. Ultimately, what? Wars, rumors of wars, different things happening. It says, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness. You don't know when you breathing air, drinking water, eating food, and there's pestilence all over that, and you don't even know. So it says, nor the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Ultimately, because great death is about to be on planet Earth. Right? It says, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shai, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. See, you get the word plague again. It says, for he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion adder, the young lion, and the dragon shalt thou trample on the foot, because he hath set his love upon me. Therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. Right? You have to call on his name. Right? He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. Right? The name of the Lord is a strong tower. All right? Says, with long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. And ultimately, that's deliverance from all the tribulations. Matthew 24 goes into just that. It says, immediately, Matthew 24:29, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Right, so that's that salvation. Right? That's what it means to get that to be saved. We get this. All right, Proverbs 18:10, it says, the name of the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shai is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. All right, it's safe. So, that's what we're going to be doing here in these last days as these things increase and these pestilence that walk, in darkness, move about. So, Lord willing, you edified and comforted, in these scriptures. Shalom to the hopeful elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.